Check this out. Grammy predictions for Best Rap Album. It's all happening. Seemingly all of the industry will descend on LA this week for music's biggest night, the 2023 Grammy Awards. Now, I'm not one to base an artist's talent on the number of gramophones they take home, but I am an album guy and I'm always excited for the Best Rap Album category. There are 5 nominees this year. Future's I Never Liked You, Pusha T's It's Almost Dry, DJ Khaled's God Did, Jack Harlow's Come Home the Kids Miss You, and Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Let's take a look at each nominee. Future's epic records release, I Never Liked You, often feels like a man basking in his self-branded toxicity. There's a song called Chickens featuring ESTG where he raps, "100 chickens, they calling me Chamberlain." Chamberlain after NBA legend Wilt Chamberlain, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain, who once bragged that he slapped bellies with over 20,000 women. That's one of my favorites. On Wait For You, he rhymes, "I can hear your tears when they drop over the phone. Get mad at yourself cause you can't leave me alone." Now that's some glorious gaslighting right there. Love that joint too. Even Ye continues the trend on Keep It Burnin' where he goes straight stalker, kicking, "I'ma buy a home next to your home if I miss you." Yeezus, that's crazy. From Mike the Plug, I Never Liked You spills the type of toxic conversations that would be polarizing if said in person, yet somehow when coming from Future, all of it sounds effortlessly endearing. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But Future's got an uphill battle in the Best Rap Album category. For starters, in the 27 years since this category was introduced at the Grammys, no trap artist nor trap album has ever taken home this coveted gramophone. Plus, he's got Ye on his project, and I'm not sure this is the year to have Ye on your Grammy-nominated album. Next, DJ Khaled's 13th studio album, God Did, was released on Epic Records and is another example of the super producer's ability to captivate through epic collaborations. Pun intended. Big Time featuring Future and Lil Baby is one of the best offerings this year from 2 artists who also released solo albums in 2022. I Never Liked You and It's Only Me respectively. Party featuring Quavo and Takeoff flips Eddie Murphy's Party All the Time sample into a trapped out salute to the fallen Migo. Yes, I know the song was created before Takeoff's passing, but Khaled's inclusion on God Did just hits different in retrospect. Then of course there's the title track God Did itself, which contains 2 Verse of the Year contenders, as both Jay-Z and Lil Wayne's stanzas are magnificent. Conversations around Hov's contributions was a major touchpoint for the culture in the weeks following the album's release. Everyone from Twitter Spaces to MSNBC seemed to take a shot at unraveling Jay-Z's multi-entendre stanza, even though in my opinion Lil Wayne had the doper verse. With God Did, DJ Khaled does what DJ Khaled does best, compile a project that captures the zeitgeist. What's interesting is I actually think DJ Khaled is a solid sleeper pick. I mean, he has 31 features on the album representing artists from every record label in at least 3 genres, something to consider since voting members are allowed to vote in categories in which they're not in. Everyone likes to support the home team, and there's a lot of home teams on this project. Plus, since God Did, the song was dissected on cable news, it actually meets what I call the dentist office criteria, i.e., does your music impact voting members in non-music places? This project has name recognition. But do I think it's gonna win? No, absolutely not. I think more than anything else, the Recording Academy values artistry, and DJ Khaled projects often feel like mixtapes. Plus, he's also on Epic Records, just like Future, so I think there's a chance the votes could split. And he has Ye on his project. I'm not sure this is the year to have Ye on your Grammy-nominated album. Pusha T's good music release, It's Almost Dry, is littered with glorious moments. There's that point at the very beginning of the Ye-produced Dreamin' of the Past when that Donny Hathaway sample drops and Push calmly yet emphatically reminds us of the difference between him and everyone else. There's levels, there's layers, so pray for the players. There's the moment Pharrell's resounding drums march in like bass heads on Call My Bluff, where the Def Jam MC coolly downshifts into a Slick Rick-inspired storytelling cadence. If you haven't heard Call My Bluff, punch yourself in the face. There's the moment when yesterday's price is not today's price booms through the speakers at the beginning of Diet Coke, flawlessly setting the stage for more crack-friendly life lessons. From the perfect balance of Ye and Pharrell splitting production duties to the brilliant imagery flowing through seemingly every bar, It's Almost Dry is an exercise in immaculate taste. This is Pusha T at his best. Now, King Push has a line on Dreaming from the Past where he says, "Award shows is the only way y'all could rob me." That's a paraphrase, something to think about. But Pusha T has made some interesting headlines in the fourth quarter of 2022. Check this out. In November, he publicly disavowed artist formerly known as Kanye West's recent turn to the dark side in an interview with the Los Angeles Times. During another conversation with XXL, Push revealed that he's no longer the president of Kanye West's Good Music imprint. He says he's not tied to Good Music in any way. Now, did Push go public to wash the West that's lathered all over this immaculate album? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question. But out of the 5 nominees, this is my absolute favorite. It's simply brilliant. I hope it wins. I'm just not sure if this is the year to release an album on Ye's label and have him produce half of your Grammy-nominated album. Who knows what most expected to be at the forefront of Kendrick Lamar's conversation following his 5-year hiatus since his blockbuster release, Damn. I mean, what does a man rap about after winning a Pulitzer Prize? In the case of K-Dot, it appears the answer is therapy. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is an ambitious, beautifully anti-pop project that forces the listener to face uncomfortable truths. Reoccurring devices Eckhart Tolle and the sound of tap dancers hold together a double disc worth of reminders that therapy is necessary and sometimes we can no longer tap dance around our traumas. Where Father Time opens a discussion on manhood, Mother I Sober addresses addiction and abuse, raw, straight, no chaser. N95 with its anthemic energy and raucous rhyme schemes points a finger at tribalism by questioning where the hypocrites at, what community feels they're the only ones relevant. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is an album Kendrick earned the right to make for himself, yet still designed with all of us in mind. By every measure to me, this is the runaway favorite, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Kendrick's a critical darling, the Grammys love him, he's won Best Rap Album twice, once for To Pimp a Butterfly, another time for Damn. It's dripping artistry. The Recording Academy prides itself on that. The Heart Part 5 wasn't on the album, but there was a lot of buzz around that track, so it cracks the dentist office test in my opinion. Ye's nowhere to be found. Again, in every sense, this is Kendrick's award to lose. Only one man, only one project can spoil Kendrick's victory lap. Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow's Come Home, The Kids Miss You wasn't met with rave reviews at all. Pitchfork said it's among the most insipid, vacuous statements in recent pop history, for example. The album peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200, which makes him the only nominee for Rap Album of the Year not to have a number 1 album. But the project does include a few things that make you wonder if he might have a sneaky win on his hands. 1, he's super charismatic and has been racking up nominations all award season. 2, the project features Drake, Justin Timberlake, Pharrell, and Lil Wayne. A lot of name recognition. Couple that with the fact that while he doesn't have a number 1 album, he improbably notched a number 1 song. First Class topped the charts, which is almost impossible for any artist. He and Future are the only nominees to have a chart-topping single, by the way, which puts him super high on the dentist office test. And lastly, history is actually on Jack Harlow's side because 7 years ago, in 2014, the nominees for Best Rap Album were Drake's Nothing Was the Same, great project, Kanye West's Yeezus, great project, Jay-Z's Magna Carta Holy Grail, ew, gross, disgusting, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's The Heist, and Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City. Kendrick Lamar's major label debut felt like the inevitable winner that year. It was an instant classic with hit records that told a story and basked in all the things that make hip-hop great. The culture and the community fully backed it. Everyone felt like they knew it was inevitable, it was obvious, it was a clear choice that Kendrick Lamar was going to take home Best Rap Album. He deserved it because he earned it. But you never really know how things are going to break on music's biggest night. Because on that fateful evening in 2014, the voting body at the Recording Academy gave the Grammy to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. The table is set in a similar fashion to the one that went wrong nearly a decade ago. What are the chances that Jack Harlow takes home the coveted gramophone for Best Rap Album at this year's Grammys? I don't have the answer to these questions.
Static selector.
Another Saturday, another TBD. Thank you guys for rocking with me each week. I really appreciate it. So that's my prediction for Best Rap Album at the Grammys this year. I think it's Kendrick's to lose. I think Jack Harlow has history on his side. I'm playing around a little bit with the Ye references in this piece, but people have been getting in trouble just hanging around Kanye in 2022. So you never know what's going through the mind of the voting body. So we'll see what happens next week. Let me know who you guys think should win. And let me know who you guys wish was nominated and had a chance to win. I think there were significant snubs this year. I think Jid put out an incredible album this year. I was also a really big fan of Denzel Curry's project this year. I wish Denzel Curry would get more love. I feel like he's at the point now where he needs to get, or he's deserved more mainstream attention. Incredible artist. Obviously, I love the Lupe project as well. It would be amazing to me if Pusha T's album takes home this award. I'm a huge fan of that, and I'm historically not the biggest fan of Pusha T. This album changed everything for me. But let me know what you guys think, and let me know who you think got snubbed. Also, gotta shout out the analysts. Thank you guys for all your donations and all the incredible analysis that you guys leave in the comments section each week. And thanks for supporting through the Linktree, helping to forward this mission each week. It's priceless. My name is Justin Hunt. Like, subscribe to the channel, follow @thecompanyman on everything, and as always, it's all happening.